Hello, a quick video on using the shape to check the tram of a mill. It's not my invention, this one, but it's really handy. It's been talked about in the forum before. Can't remember the name of the shape either yet, but it just sort of outlines how you can check stuff without loads of dial gauges and stuff. I mean, you need to get your mill pretty much trammed in as much as you can. But it can help you with that as well, and also it can help you with setting your zeros up for for cutting, because it's dead important to have everything bang on. There's a secret to it really. So I've got wax slab into your chuck, and then we need to make basically this shape. Now I've done it in two colours just for the ease of showing you on this video, but it's just a shape extruded. If you make it of a known sort of size, I don't know, 6mm thick, or I don't know, just experiment. The smaller you have it, obviously the quicker it cuts, but the harder it is to measure, so it's just finding a balance that you can work with. So say 6mm thick, I don't know, 10mm, or not even that, 8mm at the back and 5mm at the front, sort of thing. And the idea being that you'll have your block, your bit will come down, cut out. You've also got in there somewhere a curve, depending on what software. Oops, where's that gone? I know why it won't show curves in that mode, will it? So you've got a curve there. So you've got a bit of free space around it. Now you can add a support to this if you want. I usually do it without support, to be honest. It usually finds that it stays there with little bits of scraps of stuff when you're getting right. But again, say it's up to you. It's just I found you don't need to. The T on the top of it means top, and that's when it falls out. You pick it up, you know the orientation of it, so you can set things up. So what we're going to do basically, we'll cut this shape on a flip. So I'll come in, cut the top, and then the whole thing will rotate 180 degrees. Like that, and cut the back, and then rotate back when it's done, and you should be left with that shape. It should drop into a nice little pile of wax underneath. So the theory goes. Now if it doesn't, that might be because your 0 point is too high. Now the 0 point, put that view back up, X-ray. You see that point in there, that's when you bring your model in. That's 0, 0, 0, the world origin. Now that's got to line up perfectly with the middle, the middle of the chuck. If it doesn't, basically everything you do on a flip cut will be doubled. Every amount you've got out will be doubled, and that basically works, because if that point's too high, it'll come in, and instead of cutting down to this point, it'll cut slightly above it, which will add that distance to the top of the wax. So that can be your first test really, to see if you've got this zeroed. If this, your model is 6mm. Again, it depends on your steps, have to be worked out. Your steps per inch and everything have to be right. But assuming that that's right, this should then come out at perfectly 6mm. So if you measure that with a vernier across there and it's too big, your bit needs to be lower, so you're half the distance of the measurement, because you've had the flip on it. So say that comes out at 6mm. No, sorry, 7mm, and it should be 6mm. then you need to bring this down 0.5 millimetre, and that'll compensate for, or that'll bring it correct. It'll bring the thickness right when you measure it again. You'll end up cutting loads of these till you get it right, but say it's quite a good way, and it's on the machine, and once it's done, it's done. Now, the other things that can also happen is you might find that you'll cut it, you'll get the thickness perfect, but you'll have something looking like this, and you've basically got two things there. You've got your X on the back there, and your Y on the side. So if we nip it back to that, if that was just like this, then you'd know your X is right, but your Y is out. So you'd measure this distance here, half it, and move the X-axis over by that amount, and that should bring it back perfectly in line. It takes a bit of doing, figuring out which way you have to move it and stuff, but I'm not even going to try and explain that. It's best just learning by trial and error, and then you know where you're going. But that's the basic principle of it. And once you get it looking like that, then your mill is pretty trammed up.